This is Miracle Manifestation and Mission Focused Monday. And welcome back to your next 7-day outlook. We're going to be going into the seed and sickle to get started with some significator energy for the collective. And then we will move on to yet another deck. But first, let's get to the basics of this 7-day outlook. We're not going to be doing messages for each day this week. Aiming to keep these video streams and premieres a bit on the shorter end. Nevertheless, here we are, going into the seed and sickle for the collective. Here we go. Messages for the collective in the 7-day outlook. Oh, and that hit the floor. One full pass. Let's see what hit the floor and is now coming to our door. And we have hops. So let's see what the Dawn guidebook has to say. What message from the hops? Number 26. Walls, buildings, boulders. Nothing stands in the way of a hop. The Romans called it the wolf among the willows for its voracious growing habits. It is an explorer, as are you, moving swiftly over and around the obstacles life throws in your way. Interestingly enough, I was guided this rising to be a bit more exploratory. So, this synchronicity is well overdue and on time at the same time. Yes. Moving swiftly over and around obstacles life throws in your way. You are victorious. Rising above the odds. Now is not the time to let anything slow you down. Yes. Things are working out in our favor, so it seems. Yes, we are acing these obstacles, beloveds. So that is part of the significator energy for this week, acing those obstacles. Yes, let's see what the Dusk guidebook has to say about the same card. The hop's vine speeds ahead through life, voraciously grabbing at each new hurdle it must conquer. But as it grows, it leaves behind clusters of flowers, and these take life much more casually. With the vine having done the hard work already, they can now reap the benefits. Hops flowers are a great treatment for anxiety and insomnia. Step back, find a spot in the sun, and soak up that restful energy. So, interesting. It seems as though Spirit is saying that we've already been acing and conquering. And so we're actually being guided to just embrace that stillness even more so again this week as its primary energy for the week. Let's see what we have going on at the bottom of the deck. We have chamomile. So hops, and chamomile as the significators for this week's 7-day outlook. All right. That other card is just what I used to protect my privacy while reaching for the one that hit the floor, and I'm feeling guided to not even bring it in as a honorable mention. What we will be discussing is chamomile, number 49. A great companion plant to grow in your garden, protecting other plants from pests with the scent of its flowers and the antibacterial properties of its leaves. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. I'm not a doctor, not a diagnosis, not a prescription, not a prognosis. I am simply the messenger. Please do not pew pew the messenger. All right. So, it's particularly fond of herbs such as mint and even improves their taste and fragrance when in close proximity. This card is encouraging you to lean on a strong existing relationship that has provided support and companionship in the past, or it may be suggesting that there is a new one on the horizon. Who inspires you to be the best you can be? Who do you rely on and trust the most? Who are you grateful for above all others? You will be hearing from them soon. All right, let's see what the Dusk Guidebook has to say about chamomile. Everything feels harder than usual lately. You've come to this point because you've pushed yourself too far and too hard. So that would explain the hops and where we're still being guided to embrace that stillness throughout the next 7 days more than anything. It is extremely significant. Doubling down on how we have already been acing these tests and these obstacles, and in so many words, we've done more than enough. And there really isn't much more to do at this particular time during this week than to just soak up the sun as often as you possibly can. But of course, I know we're still required to maintain the mundane to a degree. I get it. I absolutely do. We all have our own struggle or two. I absolutely get it. But something is telling me that we're going to find the clarity and resolution for these struggles in that stillness. Don't be afraid to take time for yourself. Beautiful. Confirmation of what I was just saying. If you keep going the way you have been, you're going to burn out entirely. Exercise some kindness towards yourself while you still can. And don't be afraid to take time for yourself. Channel chamomile's soothing, restorative properties by making a cup of tea, taking a nap, and finding a new sense of balance and harmony to replace your energy, or just finding that new sense of balance and harmony to replace your energy. All right. Now we're going to go into Wisdom of the Hidden Realms for a bit more. But first, I'm going to clear up the clutter that I made with the box that holds Seed and Sickle. All right, here we go. Into Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. For more details, doubling down on how we have already put in so much work, and this week we're still being guided to find that stillness as often as possible. Here we go. More details from Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. We're going to make one full pass. And there it is, one full pass. From the bottom and still already in our immediate orbit, we have the Arrow Master. We are still right where we need to be at this time. And in this case, finding that stillness as often as possible. Resting and celebrating how far we have come with our aims and objectives, I just heard. Something has come to a completion with that number 10, and that's part of the reason why we're being guided to continue to embrace that stillness, because it's like saying we're already like hitting the mark, and now we can detach from it and just allow the bounty of that harvest to make its way in for us. Still very much so on the right path. Okay, we also have the Shadow Queen. There is some knowledge to be acquired during this time when we are embracing the stillness. More clarity is going to come to light for us, as well as maintaining that balance between the stillness and the mundane with that keeper of the scales. Establishing more balance and alignment. All right. Let's make another full pass with Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Okay, we have the Dragon's Duel on the table. More conscious choice making throughout this week. And at the bottom, and already in our immediate environment, and still in our immediate environment, we have the map maker of destination, being more inspirational throughout this week with our authentic purpose, intact and in mind. The blueprint has already been laid out. Obstacles already being aced. Now, we can focus more on centering in our divine authentic purpose and being that inspiration for others. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, Spirit, we're making one more full pass from Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And then we're going to move on to the Kipper. We have two more cards come out in that full pass. We have the Cosmos, tapping more into our creativity, and as a result, even more windfalls will be coming our way. And when I see this card, it reminds me of windfalls, not just for ourselves, but for like an entire community. It could be an online community. It could be like a physical in the 3D community, like in real time. Or it can be all of the above. Yes. And the Lady of the Mirror. Observing and reflecting without passing any judgment on ourselves or others throughout the week. And we have the master number 44. This is the final card of this deck, as it is a 44 card oracle deck. Let's ring the bell for number 44, ringing in all of these messages and blessings. 1, this may be a good time to reduce the volume on your listening devices. 2, 3, And so it is. One more from our immediate environment, and we're going to move on to the Kipper. We have the Spiral Dancer, creating new routines and rituals in our lives throughout this week, is what I just heard, that ultimately expand our perception on life, broadening our worldview even. A shift in perception, but also an expansion of our perception this week. And it's already happening. It's already in the environment. So we started with the 10 and wrapped up this particular deck of messages with the number 5. So I see more steadiness coming about for us as the collective throughout the week. All right, now let's go into the Kipper for a bit more details. Pertaining to this stillness that we're meant to embrace, because we have already conquered so many obstacles and aced them. Remember, I heard that we aced them. Okay, and we'll continue to do so. Especially with this expansion of our perception on things. All right, and don't forget that either that new spark occurring already in an existing relationship, or new, powerful, and potent connections coming through for us this week. Perhaps even a bit of both. We shall see. We shall see what comes from the Kipper. Something tells me we're going to make a full pass with nothing coming out, because we need to do a bit more shuffling. Holy Spirit just said. Doing a bit more shuffling, and I forgot to knock. Oops. I forgot to knock. All right, there we go. Into the Kipper. And now see, out they come. I just had to knock. Okay, so we had the Coffin coming out sideways and Change coming out upright. So, and Change landing the way it did, close to the Coffin, both of them are representing a much needed transformation that is coming through for us this week. Okay? This is a positive transformation resulting in growth with that stained glass flower. So not necessarily representing a physical death, but a death of something that is being transformed and transmuted and shining a whole new light on our growth as well. In multiple ways, shining light in multiple ways. We have street lights here, like street lamps, but then we have the candle light and we have the sunlight coming in through the window. So yes, shining light in multiple ways, shapes, and forms, I just heard. That may involve where we're being guided to be that source of inspiration throughout this week as well, to be that beacon of light for others through our transformation. All right, we're making another full pass. Nothing came out. So let's take a look at the bottom and what's in our immediate environment. We have the Lover's card, but it's in reverse. Now, I don't even know for sure if there's like a method of reading these in reversals. The descriptions are pretty cut and dry and don't really offer like alternative to the direction that it's facing, unless there are specific cards that it can land to, how it lands, where it lands in conjunction to the other cards is relevant, but only really with certain cards. Let's take a look at what the guidebook has to say for the Lovers. Number 15, my favorite number and an extremely significant spiritual number representing the Christos Sophia energy. We're going to ring it in. Yes, bringing in more of that Christos Sophia consciousness for the collective. It looks as though one of the obstacles the collective was dealing with was some kind of disloyalty or mistrust that occurred with another. We're being guided to, in this stillness throughout the week, examine these situations more carefully. On the lookout for manipulation, cheaters, gold diggers, con artists, and deceit. Not exactly the message I wanted to be delivering, beloveds, but what kind of messenger would I be if I only doled out the fluff? Not a genuine one, okay. You can trust this channel. You can trust me. I will not con you. I will not pocket watch you. And I will not ever intentionally manipulate. Sometimes manipulation can occur unconsciously, and it's more petty than serious. We'll just leave it at that, okay? So this is indicating that although these new connections may be coming in this week, it's really not a matter of falling in love just yet. Also, I'm hearing avoiding a workplace love affair. And some of you collective may not be the most thrilled about the type of work that you have been doing. Some kind of work that is not in harmony with your authentic purpose, that you may be examining a bit more and making some decision making about that more towards the end of the week, I just heard. Either way, it is indicating a friendship coming in that is going to create transformational changes in our lives. But the new spark of love is only for those of you who aren't already in a relationship. For those already in a relationship, it's not new, but through these examinations, you will be expanding your perception on them that much more. All right, 24 minutes in. Let's make one more full pass with the Kipper. Whoops. Oh, wow, that's a lot. And they came out together. Toil and labor and main female, both in reverse. So this is telling me that this is amplifying the message to us in terms of finding that stillness. Although it may not necessarily be like our main priority typically throughout the week, but in this case, being guided to continue to get more rest, even though it may not feel like it should be the main priority. I just heard I can buy myself flowers and hold my own hand. It's that song, Buy Myself Flowers. Um, yeah. So, bringing in those flowers for yourself this week, and not really expecting others to put in a whole lot more effort either. It's like even Stevens, I'm hearing. Balancing out that stillness. Um, and not really expecting much from others this week. This is more about pouring into yourself and pouring into others by way of being that beacon of light and inspiration. All right, and then this other card that flew out, handling situations and these obstacles. It's like saying we have been handling these obstacles with more grace and care. And the result and circumstances and to follow are going to be that much more rewarding, bringing us in more of those flowers. I just heard what we put in this week will multiply tenfold, 6 to tenfold. By continuing to handle obstacles with grace, maturity, and care. Already in our environment and orbit, unexpected income of some kind. So when we're in our most chill timeline, not even focused on that, is when something is going to come in completely unexpected, unbeknownst to us. Although it's already in our immediate orbit, it's unbeknownst to us. All right. Now, let's go into the Hungarian Gypsy for even more details pertaining to this new person or newness in an already existing relationship, this new friendship even. Deepening a friendship with a love interest, I just heard as well, because I just saw the Lover's card as I was shuffling. We're going to give it one more shuffle. And a knock. Here we go for a bit more details for the 7-day outlook. And we just made a full pass. What's at the bottom? Focusing on this. It's already in our immediate orbit. Love is in the air. Oh, love is in the air. Oh yeah. And it's on the up and up, beloveds. One of the more powerful and potent messages of recent was focusing on what love asks of us. And here it is, carrying that same energy all throughout the next 7 days. Being that Arrow Master. Being that beacon of light and love. And since we've been acing these obstacles, beloveds, it also goes to show that it's all about love, light, and awareness. And we are far from love, light, and clueless. All right? There's that. And news. Some kind of information. Loving information. More flowers coming in for us this week pertaining to the impact that we create and that ripple that we reverberate. God bless you, Bella, and thank you for the confirmation. Some kind of feedback is going to make its way to us this week pertaining to that beacon of light and inspiration. Yeah, it's already on its way with the journey card at the bottom. And with loyalty behind that already in the immediate environment and orbit, it is sincere. It's not that mistrust and deceit and scammers and con artist type energy that we're being forewarned about. It's the real deal. Look at me shake. I'm so high vibe right now that my whole body is shaking like this. In a good way, though. I'm not in the least bit anxious or intimidated by it at all. All right, now let's make another full pass. Oop, that one landed in my lap. Okay, we have the money card out, confirming that unexpected income. Let's see what's falling into our lap this week, beloveds. Ecclesiastic. Something. I'm getting financial support that has been divinely ordained. Something that has been divinely ordained and ordered for us for quite some time, I just heard. Like something that has been owed to us that was divinely orchestrated. All right? And it may even come to us by way of a secret admirer, not necessarily of the romantic type, but someone who sees our light. Even from the bushes and behind the scenes, they see our light and they want to be more supportive of it in some kind of way. Oh, and there's that lover. There it is. I saw it in the shuffle. And is going to continue to turn sadness on its head, beloveds. All right. Now listen, I'm feeling guided to read a bit more about this ecclesiastic. So give me just one moment while we take a look at the guidebook. Maybe. Wherever it is. Okay. Someone of unwavering faith. Someone of unwavering faith. And it could have been someone who was, not for all of you, but for some of you, involved in some kind of third-party situation that didn't quite work out, but there is still a lot of love involved, perhaps on a more platonic level for the majority of the collective. but this was somebody who was involved with you in some kind of third party situation, and they still have love for you, and they want to come through and show more of that divinely ordained support and loyalty. As a reward. It's like as you are in that mindset of, well, I'll just bring myself my own flowers. By demonstrating that kind of level of selflessness and not setting high expectations for others to do for you, they see you just doing for yourself, not expecting anything out of others, and they just intuitively are coming in. Yes, I just heard intuitively, like they're picking that up on their meter, and they're bringing in, I'm hearing equal reciprocity and reward for what you are putting out so selflessly. Yes, stability and security in mind. All throughout this week, as that beacon of light, you are at least creating an opportunity to offer that security, safety, and stability to another in some kind of way. And as a result, someone who loves you so very much, and for some of you it is a secret admirer, for others of you it is just someone who knew of you, perhaps even from your church community a long time ago, something monetary that was divinely ordained that is finally making its way to you, that is going to bring that sadness to an end. It's already on its way. And we're being guided to, again, focus on what love is asking of us at this time, and that message made especially for us will make its way to us. All right? Stability. And for some of you, with the widower in reverse, this is going to be a gentleman who is younger than you. Okay? That's what I'm getting from this card. It's going to be a gentleman who is younger than you. Even if it's like by a few days or a few months, that still counts. They're still younger than you. All right. Now, it could be a younger male relative. Or it could also be a friend of yours who is a father figure to someone, not necessarily you, because they're younger than you. But it's not completely unheard of to have a step-parent that is younger than you. Weird, probably uncomfortable. Why, certainly. But it still happens. Okay, so it can also represent a widower, like a younger gentleman who may have recently suffered a loss, but gained something in the mix that they want to share with you. It could even just be the golden nuggets that came from the experience of that loss. Some kind of powerful and potent message of wisdom that was presented to them that they now want to impart on you. Oh yeah, see, there's the lost card right behind it. But this is saying that for the majority of the collective, with it being in reverse, not only are we not taking any losses, but for the majority of us, this energy here is just a younger gentleman who didn't necessarily take any losses, and they also don't feel like they will be cutting any losses by being supportive of you and your divine purpose, that divinely ordained purpose. And for some of you, they may even want to take that next step. But it's not going to be this week. It may just be something that is reflected upon this week. Because this week we're embracing that stillness and just celebrating the harvest of our bounties even before it arrives, is what I just heard. Yes. And we are being guided to continue to be that gift that keeps on giving. We can find ways to pour inspiration and love, whatever love asks of us this week, into ourselves and others without expecting anything in return. And that in and of itself can feel like a gift to others. Like, oh my gosh, you're just going to gift me with whatever it is that you're imparting on me without expecting anything in return? Well, yes, of course, we are. We are. And we will not be throwing our pearls to swine. We will not be wasting our time, energy, love. None of that. No. We will not be wasting our energy, our love, or our time. And there's the flowers. Taking a deeper look at the card to feel it out. With that jewelry box already popped open, it's like saying subtle hints of what is about to come about and come through have been revealed, but the larger scope of things is still unbeknownst and unexpected. And it's been made official. Literally, figuratively, and metaphorically speaking, it's been made official in our favor, in all fairness and equity. Beautiful. Nothing coming through to cause any reason for us to be angry either. And I'm also hearing that any person, place, thing, or situation that may have caused a bit of anger, we'll just say in the past several days, several weeks, that is also being brought to rest. It's being anchored in. It's just within our sight. But the way that the camera keeps kind of like going out of focus, it's like that's why it's still a bit unbeknownst, because it's like we have that gut feeling that something is coming in for us, but it still isn't quite clear yet what that is. But something else is anchoring it in. Because We are Spirit's sweetheart. We are Source's sweetheart. Being guided to just embrace that Team Chill timeline as our ships come in. Beautiful. Unexpected income resulting in unexpected joy. And I'm hearing in multiple ways, shapes, and forms and currencies, including the monetary. Including the monetary. Yep. Good fortune in all ways, shapes, and forms are coming in gradually. And remember that steadiness is being maintained all around. That message came out in the very beginning. That steadiness. With the flowers, the vines were more like fast acting with the chamomile. The hops. But the flowers are more chill. And as this rolls in for us, there are going to be more moments like this where we can embrace that Team Chill timeline. As blessings are being poured out for us, an overflow of blessings. Again, in multiple ways, shapes, and forms, including golden nuggets of wisdom and love. Beautiful. Oh yeah, it's most certainly official now. Oh yeah. And for those of you who are in a third-party situation involving another man, this is the other man. Otherwise, this is someone who maintains a level of professionalism, somebody who is very well versed at what they do, and they have their eye. I just heard their good eye. They have their good eye on you. No longer focused on our desires. And being more consistent with our authentic purpose. Our divinely orchestrated and initiated. Thank you, Spirit. And it's going to be consistent, steady and consistent all throughout the week. So we're also, as that beacon of light, look, there it is, that beacon of light, like Source, being more Christ-like, like going deeper with that Christos Sophia consciousness and being more consistent as that beacon of light for others. And that's the plan. The plan really is to not be doing too much planning and be doing a lot more chilling, okay? And being more consistent with it as well, okay? Being more consistent with those moments of pause and rest and reflection and renewal, so that we can continue to be that steady beacon of light for others as well as ourselves. And again, with falseness right behind that in reverse, it's the real deal. 5005 on the timer. Let's close this session with an angel number this week for our 7-day outlook. Personal growth. Oh, that came out. That came out. Personal growth and transformation. With this number, as well as, hold on, wait for it. Financial success that we don't have to bleed or sweat for. We won't even have to break a sweat, beloveds. But it's also unexpected. So you may be, at first, you may be really putting in the work until the message reaches you in the physical that will no longer be required of you, at least not as much and as often, because of this. That doesn't require this. All right. Also, new beginnings. Well, that came out in the cards as well. New beginnings. And, well, where is it? Significant changes on the horizon. Yep. Freedom. Adventure. And that individuality and just embracing that authentic purpose, which part of that this week, remember, is being that beacon of light and inspiration for others. Okay? How we can do so individually and authentically, resulting in wholeness and the divine, personal development, and material wealth being amplified for the collective this week. And that is the message. I want to thank you so very much, Multiversal Soul Familia, for tuning in with much gratitude and appreciation from my heart chakra to yours. Brightest of blessings.